Serpentine shape on the radar. That's never a good sign. Heaviest rain for now moves out of Vermont. Severe weather off to the south. Going out the lighthouse door into the fog. And the oak trees moving with the breeze. And the cod weather vane. The cod pointed toward the east-southeast. That is the fog direction here on Cape Cod. Generally, if you have fog, it has some kind of a southerly or easterly component to the wind. And a lot of times, every time there's been a tropical cyclone headed in our direction and it was going to miss, we have had dense fog. And that is the case this morning. I like how Darius sums up his daily morning videos. Today, let's see if I can remember. Misty, mysterious, utterly captivating. The Nauset light spinning in the fog this morning. I guess the best news here is that usually the tropical cyclones miss when we have dense fog. I wasn't here for the really intense hurricanes. Even with Bob, the one that hit, I was in Rhode Island. So I've never had one hit, and I'm not sure why, but there's always fog when they miss. And let's see, Grandma's thermometer is getting a little long in the tooth, huh? It says about 73 degrees with a dew point of about 73 degrees. So much going on. Let's start with the surface map of New England. Well, it's actually the temperature and the dew point, and the wind barbs indicate that the wind here on Cape Cod and the islands is from the southeast with a dew point in the 70s for the most part. And in Boston, the wind is still from the east and the northeast with a dew point of 64. So that's a warm front over southeastern Massachusetts. And a warm front is where the cloud touches the ground, and that's what a fog is. Cloud touching the ground. Satellite imagery, the real high-res satellite close-up shows the sun's not that far south in Nantucket. Is it sunny on Nantucket Sound right now? Are we going to turn sunny while the rest of the northeast bears the brunt of the remnant storm of Debby? Talk about utterly captivating. Talk about that serpentine shape on the radar. And that has to do when your jet stream is digging down on one side of a storm and running into the ridging and rain going over the top of the right exit region of the upper level trough. Is that the way you say that? It indicates a powerful storm, and serpentine usually means trouble. And that's what we have today in the northeast. I think the worst of the trouble may, in the rainfall department, may have already gone through Vermont. May have. 1.7 inches of rain, Carl in Stowe, Vermont, since yesterday afternoon. And that rain band has now moved into Canada, but there's more on the way. And somewhat alarming, the Passumpsic River in Passumpsic, Vermont, this morning at 6:15 was about 4 feet higher than the forecast. So I don't think the modeling took into account the predecessor rainfall event of last night. Now the main rain with the other aspect of this storm, Debby and the attendant cold fronts, is coming through later today and tonight. And there's a lot of energy. It's a spectacle indeed what's happening over the northeast. Utterly captivating that a front coming through the Midwest, which came from south of Alaska, is today phasing with remnant tropical storm Debby, which came off Africa. So weather from Alaska and Africa meeting over New England, and the National Hurricane Center has the remnant of Debby now speeding up a little, kind of like what the HRR showed yesterday. Now almost not, it's out of New England, but it's still west and north of Maine at 2 a.m. tonight. So that's still a little faster. We've seen that go from 3-4 days ago, 2 a.m. It was supposed to be still in North Carolina, and now it's going to be in Quebec. So the track has stayed fairly consistent, but the timing has changed, and for the better too. The quicker it goes by, the better off we are in the rainfall department. And look at the track. The hurricane guidance track after Debby is done with us here in the northeast and southeastern Canada. Oh, it's headed south of Iceland towards Scandinavia. That's what weather is. Weather is Mother Nature's attempt to achieve equilibrium due to differential solar heating of the globe. Hot air from the equator goes to the Arctic, cold air from the Arctic goes south. And it seems like all roads go through New England when it comes to the Northwest Hemisphere, doesn't it? It's utterly captivating. All right, now we got to do the play-by-play on this. All right, the severe weather threat is real. We had that tornado warning there near Chesapeake Bay. The storm center this morning is crossing out of, looks like, Virginia, West Virginia into Pennsylvania, and it's now called remnant of Debby, but it still is packing a punch. Plus, it's got all this energy adding in from Canada and from the Atlantic Ocean. And so the National Severe Storm Prediction Center says there's increased risk of severe weather now from southern Vermont to Connecticut and southern New York and southward. I think, Ray, you do get your flight out by 2 p.m. because you're flying towards Europe, which is away from the heavy weather, out of New York City at 2 p.m. That's when the heaviest weather is going to be coming at New York City. And there is even the tornado threat today in the Northeast. So why don't we go to the HRRR forecast of precipitation and timing. There goes that heaviest band of rain out of Vermont. It's already happened. And so now that perhaps PRE, predecessor rainfall event, is done for us, but it's terrible in Canada now. And here come the severe showers and thunderstorms, severe storms and showers, crossing the Connecticut River Valley toward about evening or so, and then really diminishing as that front crosses the Connecticut River. It's still powerful, but once it gets to the Merrimack River in Maine and eastern Massachusetts, Debby's now way up there north of Maine, northwest of Maine, not as deep as it had yesterday, but the showers and potential thunderstorms are easing out of Maine and Cape Cod tomorrow morning. It may still be wet here in 24 hours here on Cape Cod. And as for the quantitative precipitation rainfall forecast, the HRRR was obviously underdone near Stowe because we've already picked up a 1.7. And these numbers begin at 2 a.m. That's when the 60 initialized today. And there are the heaviest bands, mostly across Pennsylvania, New York, into Ontario and Quebec. But you still have some areas where there is a little purple there, close to 2 inches, maybe additional, pretty close to the Passumpsic River. There was a flood warning issued already this morning. Unfortunately, that rain eased, and we have a few hours between the next rain. And the shocker on all this one is what happens right down here tomorrow morning between 5 a.m. and noon. Are you kidding? 3.22 inches of rain in Falmouth? I will definitely take the under on that one. How about the wind? Wind is a tough one also. This is called the 10 MAGL, 10 meter above ground level. And you can really make out the hills and the waters where the winds are going to be stronger over the water because there's less friction due to trees and hills, and up in the hills because they're up in the sky, and most of the wind is usually up in the sky. And right over the Champlain Valley, sustained at 30 plus knots from the south, kind of funneling right up the valley. Probably some damage in northwestern Vermont this evening, and also any severe thunderstorms damage. And then if we stop it at 2 a.m., this is when it looks like the heaviest wind is occurring, and it's just east of Isle of Shoals off the coast of Maine and New Hampshire. And that yellow in there, that's sustained at what, 44, 47 knots? I can't remember. I memorized these scripts, by the way. There's no script. It's just impromptu, one take Tim every day out the door, weather and more. And then that wind keeps on going. Still fairly gusty tomorrow along the coast. But you see much less wind inland. It's going to take some time, too, to clear out this tropical humidity and warmth that's coming in. So tomorrow's going to be a warm day when the sun comes out. We're all of a sudden in the mid-80s. And we may have to wait till noontime on Cape Cod. And on Nantucket, by evening, the wind is kind of west-southwest at about 10 to 20 knots for the Nantucket Pops, Boston Pops, and Drone Light Show. And I've been consulting on that, another one of my volunteer positions. Be talking to activities here shortly. I'd say it's all systems go, though. Maybe fairly breezy, but hopefully not enough to hamper the drones. And then we have real quiet weather. Let's look at the Boston 5-day meteogram. Tomorrow, starting off with temperature in the dew point in the 70s. Dew point goes down to 58. Temperature goes up to 85. Wind slackens. What's it, in the 70s to near 80s? Sunday, just gorgeous weather. Fresh air fanatic, I mistook when you're getting married. It's actually 2 weeks from Sunday. Well, anyhow, anything on this Sunday is fine. The 2-week from Sunday forecast is going to wait until next week. I love my super fans, Lucy, Glenn, Tom, so many of you guys, Max, there every day. And I really appreciate the feedback and the comment and the sentiments for Steve yesterday. I say the weather's going to get quiet for about one day, Sunday, and maybe Monday. And let's go to the Euro now and talk about the problems with next week. Got that backdoor front coming at us Monday, upper level 552 low, which is fairly chilly, and that means very unstable. So at least elevation showers on Monday afternoon, Tuesday. And then 2 days in a row for consistency here. It's about a 560 cutoff upper level low over the northeast. And that's instability. So watch each afternoon. Tuesday, shower, thunderstorm. Wednesday, shower and or a thunderstorm. And these are going to be slow mover, drenching rains in spots. Thursday, same thing. Now, what's this? Next Friday, here comes Ernesto. Looks like a major hurricane is possible, according to the Euro, which did a pretty good job in the last 2 weeks. And look at that, kind of meandering slowly in the direction of Cape Cod next Sunday, August 19th. Oh, that number, August 19th, 1991 rings a bell. That would be the anniversary of Hurricane Bob. So the E storm should be well east of the B storm from 1991. One can only hope anyway, but that's going to be the elephant in the room next week. And swallows. It's quite likely that there will be a hurricane. And if it's a slow mover, that's good news for us. We always talk about slow-moving hurricanes miss Cape Cod. And of course, you only care about where you are, right? No, I care about where everyone is, and I hate giving bad news. I'm hoping my friends in Vermont survive without another disastrous flood. So let's go to the end more from yesterday. More on sailing. The future Twilight series student sailors yesterday out there with the easterly breeze. Nice day. And one of them capsized, and there were a couple of them in the water kicking and yelling and looking like they were having fun. This is how memories are made and lessons are learned. So fun on the ForeRiver, and then riding the mad traffic waves to Cape Cod, as always, heavy, and surviving that traffic wave. I think I'll spare you the rest of that. Getting to BassRiver. Always fun coming over the BassRiver into Dennis, and then going over the BassRiver into Yarmouth for a Friends of BassRiver function down at the Packet Landing. Seeing my fisherman friends. Gordo, he had a charter planned for yesterday, but the client said, we're not going out. The weather's not good enough. So he went out and caught a huge tuna, and we just missed him selling the tuna. So sorry to miss that. And hey, Ray, and hey, Mike, and all my friends, the Friends of BassRiver, were trying to restore oysters and scallops to BassRiver. My dad says down here when he was a kid, the oysters were all attached to each other, and they were about 14 inches long. One after another. And we did scallop in here right through about my high school years into the early 80s before the scallops disappeared. The question is that fog going to disappear? I think we might see the sun on Cape Cod today. Talk to you tomorrow on your Saturday, our Saturday. Bye. 10 a.m. have just begun to edit today's Out the Door, so this is the end more for our tomorrow, which is now today, which is Friday, and I'm looking at the future Twilight series racers. They're learning how to sail. I wish I learned how to sail when I was that age. Oh wait, I did. I just gave it up. Ramming speed. I heard them all yelling, hold on, hold on. Like rounding the mark last night out there in Hingham Bay, huh? And look at this gorgeous boat. Breaking news, we've got sailors in the water. It happens. Obstructed view seating. They're getting scooped. It's always exciting. We used to go in the water on purpose, and most of the time we weren't wearing life preservers. We were allowed to be risky when we were kids. Risky behavior was every single day. Parents didn't even know where we were. They rang the bell at dinner time and all the kids went home. If one didn't show up, then we started searching the water. But the parents started searching the water. Yeah, that boat's gonna need some drainage. She's going down. Oh, plane's taking off to the east. That's different. Really fun sky waves kind of coming in from every angle right now. Top, bottom, side. And it's fun sailboat day today. There's a little different. So if a sloop has one mast and a schooner has two, is that a schooner? Ton? Doug? Jeff? So we're headed south into the cloud. Weather will chase us. First raindrops as the front comes back to the north. 25.8 miles from the Sagamore Bridge. 24.6 miles. Windshield wipers engaged. Headlights on. 20.8 miles to go to the bridge. Bumper sticker says, I love bugs. And Sugarloaf. I love bugs and Sugarloaf too. We're brothers. Strangers are friends that have not met yet. 16.8 miles to go, complete stop as we head towards that weird Plymouth 3-lane thing. Must be an sand mine, gold mine. Seems like it's still producing. Doesn't look quite as beautiful sand as it did before, but now it's just all wet. Oh. Who would have thought the clouds would be breaking as you got to the Cape Cod Canal? Wow, that's a little different. You ever just think about cashing it in and getting an Airstream? You get right in front of me, Airstream. Is the sun gonna come out on Route 6? Woohoo! Here we come. 71 degrees. Feels pretty good. Entering Dennis. Always feels good entering Dennis. Love this place. It's a Bass River thing again now. I'm just gonna wait in this line to get over from the Dennis part of Bass River to the Yarmouth part. This bridge is so decrepit. We take our lives into our hands every time we go over it. It's due to be replaced within the next decade. It's on the list. State. Can't beat the bicycle on this section of town anyway. Looks like someone's selling some fish down there, right? Entering Yarmouth. There we are. What size is that grill, huh? There's our pontoon boat. Are we going fishing? Well, every time we have one of these gatherings, it starts raining outside.
How's it going?
Lindsay Liz out there every day, catching them, entertaining. Dog too. Looks like that ice has a little blood in it. What was under there?
Well, what else would fit in that bag?
A very large person?
Yes. Don't ask me questions about...
You got hockey sticks over there.
Yeah.
You have me at a low.
Yes.
What'd you catch today?
A tuna.
Yeah, so is it headed for Japan now?
It just left in a truck. Just started to finish the truck right out of here.
How's the season?
It's my first time going, really.
First time, so you're 1 for 1.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, and is the season, what's the quota?
I had no idea because I'm chartering. This was just a day that customers didn't want to go because it was shitty. So I was like, oh, fuck, I'll go.
Cool. So, how far out did you have to go?
Right up off of Chatham. I was just 20 miles from here.
Wow, cool. Good job. Good day, huh? Home before dark?
Kidding, I was here at 3. I had to wait 2-3 hours for the truck.
Oh, jeez. Katie B. The clients didn't want to go because it was bad weather, so we went and caught a tuna. All right, let's go catch a burger.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the size of that grill. This is awesome. Friends of Bass River. There it is, Bass River right there. That's Ken Foster of Paul Oil Breakaway. All things grilling. South Venice. This is the lineup right here. Katie B, Tina, Marie, Lindsay, Liz, Martha B, and the gulls. Somebody might be cleaning some fish over there with an outgoing tide. Gulls are going nuts.
I just want to say I really feel honored to have been involved in the start of this, and I can't say enough about Rick Bishop. He has been the driver of this, and he's doing an absolutely phenomenal job. How many projects are underway at one time now, right?
We have 3 major projects.
3 major projects, and it's just his drive.
We're underway with a 60-foot wide bridge that will replace that. It's about 3 years away, I would say.
Crab Creek. Kind of windy.
Part of the Kermit Bog restoration is on Weir Road. We have a collapsed culvert right at the corner of Weir Road that we're going to replace with a 24-foot wide bridge as part of this project. I think many people will be surprised to hear we've done a lot of testing with the Woods Hole group. We will have tide up to Weir Road, not in our lifetime, but probably 50 to 75 years from now, which is really pretty exciting. This is a 21st century eelgrass. We have a beta project underway to reintroduce bay scallops in the Bass River, and eelgrass was the area that baby scallops would grow in a size that they could leave the eelgrass area, and because they swim and move. But this project we're going to hang a whole series of these in the packet landing floats and put in scallop seed, and they will grow to a size that we can release them back into Bass River. So this is a really exciting project that we identified probably 6 months ago. It's underway right now.
In there, and those oysters will be released likely within the marina itself so that they remain protected and they will not be harvested for consumption. So this is just a jumping off point. We really, really hope, and again, I strongly encourage anyone who has any crazy shellfish ideas that they want to implement. I think it's a great natural asset to be able to use nature to help nature.
Can't really see them through this, but those are baby oysters. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. Oyster upweller. 1 to 3 years from spat to adult. Why do oysters matter? Oysters make the water cleaner by filtering nutrients out of the water as they feed. Oyster can filter up to 50 gallons of water each day. And we eat them? That sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? In June, we place small oysters called spat that measure about 1 millimeter in length in each of the buckets of the upweller. The pump circulates water up from the harbor to support river to support the oysters' nutrition and growth. The oysters will grow through the summer and into the fall. They will be about 1.5 inches long when they're ready for a new home. We sample water collected from the intake and outflow pipes and monitor the oysters' impact on water quality. In the fall, the oysters are tested to determine their health and then moved to a suitable location so they can continue to grow and perform their important tasks for our healthy ocean. Kind of a river. Can't see him. Anyhow, there it is, underneath our decrepit bridge. Probably more out there. More and more and more. There's the laughing gull. Come on, laugh for us. All right, that's enough for today. We went from the ForeRiver to the BassRiver, and it's kind of a chilly, muggy evening. Well ahead of what's going to become post-tropical depression Debby coming through the Northeast. Now it's tonight, right? If you're watching this video on a Friday. All right, this is the hood. This is where I grew up. trying to bring the scallops back and get the nitrogen levels down and the oxygen levels up here on Bass River. Till tomorrow, everybody.